Hey, Jason and Travis, how's it going, guys? All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Sleepy, sick on pills. Sorry to hear that. AQ. I actually took the AQ boss this morning for the first time in a while, since we reorganized the BGs and SSX. Forgot how much I hated that fight. Right, no. A lot of really annoying champions in this meta. I don't think I've fully processed it yet. Maybe I should have taken out Overseer, too good of a switch hitter. Let's definitely grab Negs and Doom. They're definitely getting Torch. I think Mojo. We don't really have an Overseer counter yet, though, so that's something to be on the lookout for. Could use Torch in a pinch. Oh, that's kind of scary. We don't have an armor champion, and we haven't seen one yet, have we? Being out of rerolls hurts. Um, I don't know what to do with this one. Tech champions in here. Maybe Doc Ock would be a good pick. Alright, Archangel helps a bit at least. Really not happy with that draft. Feel like I didn't get counters to most of their stuff. We'll see how it goes. That one I can handle. Go ahead and throw down Mojo. Like, we're not going to win this either way against Archangel. Thus far, I don't particularly enjoy this meta, but I really think a big chunk of that is just my deck isn't that great for it. Oh, this was a terrible, terrible matchup. I just remembered. Okay, well, these are things I have to learn. Alright, get him to throw it. That's fine. Glad we did this while we were up against an Archangel. Alright, let's see if we can put his healing in cooldown. What would be really cool is if we managed to get him to heal while we still had the double petrify up, but no, that's clearly not going to happen. Maybe we can get back to that, though. That could work. We can keep those up. Oh, no, wait, he's immune to that modification. The Petrify shows up, but it just works on power. Never mind. Okay, I was kind of looking away. Maybe that wasn't the inputs, but it felt like the inputs. That's fine. This one is a loss. Not really fussed about it. Yeah, completely okay. Oh, hey, Chuck. Nice. Yeah, fully expect you to win this one. Draft went very poorly. I also made a mistake in the first round, so, compounding problems. That's okay. I'm already prepped for the next one. I mean, I'm gonna try and win this fight, and if I somehow win the next one, but I'm fully in. Alright, next match mode. Wow. Whoops. I swear that second one was a... Nope. No, let me watch it. No, I was just an idiot. I was fully an idiot. Oh my god. I am clearly not awake or something, because that was so winnable. Like, Mordo versus Cersei is not ideal. It's possible, but the idea is to just... I'm assuming if you're back yet, Chuck, the idea is just to try and land the special 2 in between glancing, so that then when you trigger glancing, it hurts her really badly, but... Oh, that was so winnable. This is why I normally stream at 11 instead of 10. I swear, I'm just not awake enough right now. Hey, Ray. Yeah, Sarah Ghost. Yeah, that was so winnable. Well played, Chuck. That's a good deck. I would be curious to see the Mordo side of that fight. Thanks, man. Hopefully we get to meet up when I'm thinking with more than 3 brain cells a bit later on. That was pretty spectacularly bad. Go for it, Nom. I'm searching. But yeah, I don't get it, Sarah Ghost, because like the Mordo's text says it has to be a buff, right? That's just not what's actually happening. That is not Nom. Focus up. It's just a lot of scary BS. Um, My deck is so bad for this. I'm not the one to ask on that, Ray, because I don't have Mole Man. I know Simula did a good video on it, but as always with Abyss, it's gonna depend on how well you do. I did the special 2, but then ate her special 3. Yeah, power snack. We are in trouble, my friends. I feel like the draft RNG is so much worse in this meta. It's either that or I've been getting very unlucky, because I've just been getting destroyed. Nice. I look forward to seeing that, Chuck. Hmm. Doesn't have a Doom counter? Yeah, but I don't really have an Apocalypse counter either. Which is why this was a good pick. Hey, Meta, how's it going? Killmonger may have come through. Bravo. Thank you, Eric. Thanks, Intrasis. I do have some idea what I'm doing with Doom, guys. I just don't love him. Alright, was fully expecting that. Um... Like, we know they have Gilly. You put a 2-0 hurt in progress on someone yesterday. Alright, this has to be Reed. Let's hope for some decent RNG. All three. Games begin. Come on, buddy, you can do this. Alright, that was pretty darn clean. I think we got this one. 6-star Mystic Awakening Gem for Diablo. That's probably worth it, Troy. Diablo's quite good, and the attack bonus, even when you're not using recoil, really helps him out. But Doom is also Doom. I'd say if prestige matters to you, wait for Doom unless you're willing to put all like 199 stones into Diablo. Because his prestige is fine. But if your ultimate plan is to go Doom for prestige, then I think I'd hold it. Because Diablo also doesn't need the Awakening. Alright, I am super happy about that one. Oh, they quit out? Well, that makes me less happy, but that was still a gorgeous Reed fight, so that's fine. Did I ever run into a quest where I had to change my masteries for a certain fight? It happens occasionally, Zach, but really not that often. I wouldn't worry about it too much. The setup I run is almost always totally fine. Occasionally I throw on Pacify or take off Willpower, like minor little things like that. Ah, sorry, no. On the subject of that Doom fight, I was just saying yesterday, I'm considering him again as my next rank 4 because he's already Sig 80. And like I really want Nimrod. I'm nowhere close to having Cersei at Sig 200. It may still be Nimrod, but just because SSX reorganized the battle groups, we're a little bit light on Dooms, specifically rank 4 Dooms in Battle Group 3 now. And he's not my favorite, but I do know what I'm doing with him. So that's tempting. Because he's so strong. Not my favorite. So strong. Hey, Troy, thanks so much for the super chat. Happy to help. Hey, it worked out, nah? Let's do this. Yeah, meta. I will. I'm not gonna ban his Black Panther. Although he did ban my Reed. Jerk. Um, yeah. Just get Rob. Oh, I know, nah. Still rude. Um, hey, Bleezy, it's going well. How's it with you? Wish they let us have Defiance. I'm not gonna lie, I've had that thought more than once, please. It'd be very, very helpful. The short timer at the beginning really tilts me. All right, well, that's what this was for. Believe it or not. I'm not throwing her into an Archangel. I think I like this meta better than Masochism, but I'm simultaneously worse at it. My deck was built way better for Masochism. Kingpin. This jerk. See, this is why I don't like this meta. Because, like, this would not be a problem if they just threw specials. But we were, what, 40 seconds in and he finally threw one? It just makes it so much less interesting. Like, that's a fine matchup, but just, that's... It's fine. Like, it would have been difficult to beat 46,000. Na had a great matchup, and he played very well. It's still frustrating. Because it's not like Kabam didn't know this. The Summoner Showdowns had Spite, right? And the CCP Beta had Power Snack, so, like, all of this was well known. Right? No. You come on. He was throwing it so quickly. He was taunted that entire time. Oh. Yeah, well played, Nah. Any frustration is not at all at you. Draft RNG is a thing. You executed well. You picked good matchups. I'm so over the AI. Special one spam is fine if you're using spam. That's why it was such a great matchup. But then he didn't throw a special despite being taunted for like 20 seconds. And that's when all of the tools in the game that are supposed to address this archetype stop working. Why bother? Oh, you know what? Before I get fully into Arena here, I'm gonna go grab some water. I'll be right back, everyone. Okay, I'm back. And actually, we have energy. We can go ahead and do one more. Yeah, Chuck, it was quite a bit. That was a really bad pick on my part. Don't think I'll make that mistake again. Not in PGs anyway. No, no, no. Man, what Battlegrounds has taught me is that there are a lot of people out there in alliances I have never heard of with much better rosters than me. I mean, Saragost, I know the joke you're making. That depends on whether it's additive or multiplicative, but yeah. Really tired of feeling like I'm getting bodied more by that than by anything else. Alright, do I have enough poison immunes for I-Bomb? Not really. I don't love Hyperion offensively here, but I also don't want to die to poison, so let's be sure. Alright, what do you got? Starting off strong. Alright. I really hope they go into Frenzy. And they're running Recoil. Hey, Infamous. Yeah, I'm doing well. My demo tape. I think they went into Frenzy and quit out. Not throwing shade or anything. I just, if I had less I had less pride and I was not streaming, I could see myself doing that when I made the terrible Nags versus Overseer pick. So my guess is that's what happened. 1 second. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Overseer, and maybe I do just need to ban him more often in general here. I'm not surprised by how well he did versus APOC, because the thing is that the thing that makes Overseer feel niche is not everyone tries to poison or nullify him, right? But when the global is Power Snack, then everyone becomes one of his niche fights, and he suddenly has access to so much gamma and hits so hard and ramps so quickly. So I was not really shocked to see that. I would like a redo of our next versus Moth face off. I was doing great, then getting caught by a special too. That's exactly what I postulated happened to you, Infamous. I actually went into that saying I think he's a better Negs player, which I believe. I do not have that much experience with him, but that was a fun one. I think this is fine. I like this meta better. I think I would be fully willing to like it better without reserve, even though I'm doing worse and my deck is worse. If the AI just felt less. I used to think I was better at things too. Like sometimes it just happens. But things like Kingpin does have extra combat power rate. I'm a little annoyed at the first few special ones Kingpin didn't throw when I gave him opportunity to in that fight. But the ultimate special 3 was less of an issue. I arguably got significantly too aggressive without making sure I had the right dimensions up. So like that one was fully on me. That didn't feel as much like the AI. That felt like me miscalculating. But the Penny fight yesterday, where I dodged 6 heavies at the corner and then she went red, or the Mysterio fight today, where he was taunted and just gliding forward with a special ready, those those to me feel like this is stupid. Why am I playing? Take care, nah. That was fun. Hey, Stat. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Who do I use for Kitty here? I think I do this and just accept that the Kitty fight's gonna stink. I need to remember to heavy doom. Those fights are fun. I actually have a Massacre versus Doom fight um, in my next war video. Looking forward to that one. Or to talking about it anyway. Okay, I guess if Kitty just never dashes forward, then it's nice and easy to deal with her. Can't believe she didn't phase that entire time. Right, get neutralize up first, then we can work on the counters. Infuriate. Has horns but isn't a cow. Is that Mangog? There are only a few horned creatures, right? Odin? I'm not sure helmets count, or we're adding quite a few people. Sorry, sometimes I forget I'm on stream. Van Gogh is right class. Well, Diablo, if we're counting headgear, is the next one that comes to mind. After that, I might have to go check. That would count Purgatories as headgear as well. Alright, Mystics with Horns. It can't be Loki. And also, headgear. I guess Purgatory actually... Yeah, those do count as horns. That's not just headgear. It's like grown into it. Alright, I would say Mangog and Purgatory actually have horns. Everyone else, I'm going to look sideways at you. So, Purgatory then? Yeah, no, they are. I just forgot that they had like grown through her helmet. Hadn't looked at her in a while. Recommend taking unduped Corvus to rank 3? I'm not sure I would. Not unless you're like using him all the time in AQ or in war, and you're using him more for his damage than for his ability to, oops, I messed up and I'm not dead. But I think more and more these days, unless you're one of those go-to Corvus users in war, you really are using him more for his dupe. So I think the value of an unduped Corvus has dropped a bit. There's a reason mine's still ranked 2, and it's not just because I despise him and everything he stands for in the game. Topic of champs that represent things in the game. Who would you say represents everything that I love about the game? Good question. And I want to come up with an answer that isn't just Reed, because that's the obvious one. I do like a lot of the things about Reed. I mean, control is my play style in this game, and he controls a lot of things. I love how each of his special attacks makes sense depending on what matchup that you're using. Um, I love that there's a reason to use his heavy. I love that he has effects on your team, both through synergies and pre-fights. I love that he has that crossfight ability. I love that he has so many sneaky and therefore specific forms of damage mitigation. Like it's not the boring Doom. Okay, he just has crit resistance and he never dies. It's like you can resist these forms of damage, but not these. And science champions in general have a bit of that. Like Spider Ham is way on that as well. Again, I feel like all three of his specials have a reason to be used. There's a reason to use the heavy, there's a reason to vary your combo lengths. I love that his dash back and hold block has a real use to it. But it doesn't feel essential. He also has niche forms of damage mitigation. Let's see, outside of science class, I mean, there's a reason I love Killmonger. His kit fits together really well. There are reasons to use all three of his specials. He's a rhythm-based champion. I really enjoy those. Jabari. I mean, there's a reason you see me playing these champions over and over again. House of X a bit, although honestly, he has less of the damage mitigation. It's more just immunities, which are helpful. Let's see, out of tech, Guardian is another one where there's a reason to use everything. Multiple forms of damage mitigation. Penny is really well designed. Love what she brings to the game. Ultron, Odin. Odin is way up there on yes, do this more often. Cersei, Claire, Purgatory, honestly, she just needs to be tuned up a bit. Yes, Infamous. My favorite champions, it feels like the kits are put together like a work of art. Everything is where it is for a reason. I feel like I love reading through kits and going, okay, why is that there? That seems a little odd. Oh, here's another part of the kit. That's why that works together. And then my mind goes, oh, so that means in this situation I could do this thing and link those two together. And suddenly I'm thinking about where I would use them, and I'm like, cool, utility that matters. They're not just generically strong. That's what excites me about this game. Like reading through both Rintra and Wong, I got a bit of that. I like the way both of them are built. How they're balanced, remains to be seen. They're not fully in the game yet, but definitely optimistic about those two. And in general, the designers do a good job with that stuff. Most of the champions I really don't like are quite old. Or are a particular designer who I think just got away with too much. Nice, Zach. Yeah, Realm of Legends for farming potions is for sure the way to go. If you made it all the way to Wolverine, I'm guessing that you are probably actually fighting it as opposed to auto fighting it. Nice. Hey, 628. Sig 200 rank 4 Nimrod. Absolutely. Huge congrats. Yeah, thanks, Chuck. That Mysterio was. Yeah, infamous. I mean, Corvus's Special 3 does have the advantage of it does a lot of damage without being a crit. And so, like, there's some small utility there, but to get to it, you have to land so many crits that it's. Yeah, I don't think that that's worth it. Yeah, Maw's kit is well put together. Again, there are reasons to use all three specials. There are reasons to use the heavy, really well designed character, and I'm glad that they finally got him to a place where he makes sense. Yeah, Overseers is very good. I actually don't mind the cooldown on his taunt just because, like, I'm trying hard to make this distinction properly because Miles Miles like Miles needs the specials to come. It's it's part of him staying alive. Overseer punishes opponents throwing specials and so wants them to throw specials, but it's not like necessary to him surviving. And he also like I think gets a greater long-term advantage from it. So I don't know. That one doesn't bother me as much. Oh, I know Infamous. I agree. Need a cold snap counter. Yeah, when you need a cold snap counter that stops being a cold snap counter after 20 hits. Love that. Decision time on Killmonger. Saving the gem in case I pulled Nick. Pulling Killmonger's made me think to use it on him. Honestly, Aaron, my recommendation is spend some time with him without the without the SIG and see how it feels. Because if you're really falling in love with the flow of the champion, with how the kit fits together, you're still going to be happy with that. Even if he's not at very high SIG. But I also think that if you do not enjoy playing Killmonger, or if like the relatively lower damage bothers you that much, then awakening him and taking him to high SIG is not going to quote fix him for you. And so I think it's important to kind of make the call on whether he's a champion for you without it. Then you can call it. Take care, Ray. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Those are two excellent rank ups. You have him maxed as 5-star and loved him? Well, then. Yeah. I've always said skill is in a weird place for awakening gems. But if you're okay with the prospect of pulling Nick in a month and not having the gem, if you're at peace with that, then Killmonger's definitely one of the better uses. So congrats on the pull either way. Yes, he is absolutely Defiance. On the subject of Defiance, this last war that I did, where the video will be coming out tomorrow, I did some more Massacre, and God, he's good. But I also brought Captain America and did some cool stuff with him. Yeah, that was way too early on that. But yeah, so look forward to that. That should be enough. Yeah. Ah, still have a generic for Nick. Okay, then yeah, that would make me feel pretty darn good about it. Still haven't turned it on. I have not been hating it, Slay. It's this weird thing where, like, in horror movies where the bad thing is like always in your peripheral vision, never when you're looking directly at it. Stay with me through this metaphor. Um, I feel like that's kind of issues with the refractor. That's where it's coming up. It's like where I'm not paying full attention. Something will happen, and I'll go, "Did my block not work, or was that just that I'm not used to it?" And like I did the timing without thinking in the place that it's been for the last few months. Whoops. That almost certainly should have been a parry. I don't know. I'm just really conflicted on it. It is turned on by default, but I'm sure Slay means he's turned it off after that default and just not played with it. Yeah, I am curious why you haven't taken Nick up, Sarah Ghost. He's not my favorite either. He's on the list of champions I think probably should be slightly nerfed. But he's absurdly good, so I'm kind of curious what's holding you back. I want to test something. Aha. Oh, that's BS. Okay, that explains what was going on the other day. Did you guys see how I was testing this intentionally? I took Nick to 0% while he was stunned to test Storm converting the active stun into a passive stun. The passive stun triggered and was then removed. Why does Nick have, like, to me that tells me he removed all effects twice? What? I don't know. That was very weird to me. If anybody has thoughts, let me know. Hey, James. Appreciate that. Couple questions. Maw is on my short list. I promise I am getting to that soon. Um, I keep getting sidetracked. I actually started on a Masacre guide last night, which I do still think I'm gonna do just because I have videos ready and he's not that complicated. But as for defense strategy or placement, I haven't made that because it feels simultaneously too contextual, and I feel like what I would say has kind of been covered. You're right, James. Okay, it removed. Yes, thank you. Okay, it removed the effects, which removed the active stun, which applied the passive stun, and apparently that happens a split second before he technically goes stun immune. So that's why it went away. Thank you. Okay. And that's why that happens, but Toad still works fine. That's a brain fart on my part. So with defense placement, basically the issue is it's so contextual. It matters so much who else you have in the battle group, what you're doing to path split. Like, I don't know. It's something I've never felt comfortable really talking about because I feel like I would just be giving some very specific examples and some very general notes, and that would be about it. Um, excuse me, give me 1 second. Okay. Sneezing in the middle of an evade that I find difficult does not make it easier, believe it or not. Let's try that again when I can actually see. Okay, better. Um, yeah, so like example. Havoc on Hazard Shift is not inherently a great placement, right? Like let's say 9B, so the Hazard Shift, Shock, and Bleed. Not inherently a great placement, because as soon as you put that down, you go, okay, well, excuse me, Ultron crushes this. Um, Guardian can take this even. Silver Centurion is completely immune to all of this stuff and will just get him down. But you place a Doctor Doom on the node before that, who hoses all of those options, and suddenly that Havoc looks better. And that's why that placement of either Doom or of Doom and then either Havoc or Bishop has been so popular. Because placement is all about who else is on the path. Can I force you to need 2 or 3 options every single time I place somebody down? That's very different from like if I put let's say I put like a mole man on the first node and then Havoc on the second node. If somebody has a duped Silver Centurion, they're just going to run right through that. Because, yeah, Mole Man's shock immune, but they're just going to place the plasmas. He's not going to be able to purify any of this stuff. They're going to get to the special 2. The fight's going to be over. Right? So that's the kind of thing I try to avoid. But what that means is that I don't really believe that there are that many best placements. Like I know what I'm going to do over and over again, probably in my battle group. I know what some of my fellow officers in SSX are going to do in other battle groups. But part of that is because of the like 3 or 4 champions they place that we don't, and vice versa. There are different path splitting options, and therefore there are different best placements for certain characters. I can try and make a video for it because the other thing is just I haven't been planning defense all that much. It's been mostly campo, but now that we've split up, I may have to think about it a little more actively. Yeah, I'll give it some thought. See if I can come. I'll see if I can come up with a script. I don't normally do that, but at least when I say script, I mean like bullet points. If I can come up with some bullet points that really feel organized on this, I will make that video. Because what I don't want to do is just pull up a map and ramble. But yeah, maybe I can do that in off season since we're placing so many weird characters. I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for bringing it up, James. Hmm, where's Miles? I am currently testing the refractor. As I started to say to Slay earlier, most of the issues I've had are when I'm like half paying attention, so I'm not sure if they're issues with the refractor itself or more that I'm just not used to it and so I'm doing weird things. I think I like it. This is a terrible matchup for all of these characters. Makes sense, James. Alright, very low sig Korg. I'll take it. Come here. Low sig Korg with no willpower and running recoil. Alright. Okay, bravo, Miles. Yeah, I mean, that just means that Havoc is more dangerous in this meta BT. Like, the only hard counters to that would be, like, Civil Warrior, because he's immune to Nullify, and Omega Sentinel for the same reason. That is very silly, Aaron. Okay, you don't have a great answer. You just don't value Nick that highly. Okay. I mean, I have a 565 as well, but he scales pretty darn well with the rank. That's cool on the null. Did you have any issues with him throwing special ones, or did you just deal with the reversed controls and or made sure you had a special ready? All right, we need crits. See, like that right there. I'm not entirely sure if I did something weird or if the input didn't work, because I thought I was blocking, but it's possible that like the window on exactly when a block is turned into a dash has changed, and that's what's throwing me. I understand that that's one of the biggest issues with the refractor. It's really hard to give accurate data because so much of it is what you're used to. I don't know. I think it's better. I'm not sure I love it just yet. Nice, that makes sense, Aaron. I do understand that, Sarah Ghost, because I don't bring Nick or Magneto into literally anything, as I only have them as 5 stars. Well, almost literally. Hey, Agent, how's it going? Decided on Tigra for rank 3, just wish she had a little more SIG. Yeah, I just consider that a work in progress with her. It'll be with it'll be there when you need it. Need to get that Strife Hood synergy fixed? I know, my friend. I there's something wrong about additive ability accuracy reduction when disorient is involved. because this is something that has been wrong with the Spider-Man 2099 synergy. Whoops. Stupid long shot leaning forward for his heavy. But this is something that's been wrong with that for a while now. Spider-Man 2099 synergy with Psylocke is what I'm talking about. The one that allows her to go over 100% ability accuracy reduction currently does not work. I'm not sure what it is exactly, whether her SIG isn't working properly, whether the disorient isn't working properly, whether they're not being added together, or whether they're maybe being applied multiplicatively, even though that's definitely not how ability accuracy reduction is supposed to work. I don't know what it is, but it has not worked for a long time. And I was testing Masacre last night for um, like the guide that I'm planning on putting together for him. His disorient also does not work because Masacre has a 50% disorient, and under certain circumstances, it can last up to 36 seconds. Like, it's extremely long. However, he also has this ability that reduces the opponent's defensive ability accuracy by 50% while they are blocking. Now, what that means is that if the opponent is blocking, um, and they have a disorient on them, because the disorient is itself a debuff, the opponent is supposed to have minus 100% ability accuracy, or defensive ability accuracy. And yet, I was fighting a thing yesterday in this testing with Masacre, with a disorient on thing. I was hitting into his block, and he was gaining rock stacks. I know you can't see me, but I'm shrugging. So I something is up with how disorients work. Yeah, Agent, I saw your tweet. Glad you're having a good time. Funnily enough, Killmonger is our best Colossus counter here. Yeah, I totally get that, man. And I'm not sure if it's stutter stepping or what, but I'm still finding myself having to re-parry sometimes where I feel like I should just be able to parry. Maybe that's just my reflexes. And the weird thing about that, the disorient thing with Misakure, is that I felt like whenever I was testing it against Darkhawk or Medusa, I could hit into auto block and not get stunned, which is one of the biggest abilities there. So maybe it's that Rock Stack specifically, excuse me, rock stacks specifically are messed up in some way, but I think it's more likely that the disorient additive stuff is just broken in general, and it's just more obvious with rock stacks, and I just happened to not have the stun triggered on me the few times that I tested it. Because I think my sample size was like 4 or 5. Whatever. Yeah, Aaron. It'll definitely be a great synergy. Take care, Agent. Yeah, I'm very interested in Craven, Sarah Ghost. MP and I often have similar taste in champions, and he enjoys Craven. I haven't gotten to play with him yet, but he has that amazing synergy with Venom Pool, so he's at least on my radar. Excuse me. I know I could have finished that earlier, but that's part of testing the refractor is seeing how those parries after combos feel. And that was pretty good. Come on, Proxima, this is why no one likes you. I guess suppose I'm on Sunspot, this is why no one likes Proxima. But this is pretty painful. Yeah, I've heard of Nagase Saragost. Alright, I got the 4-star dupe. Although I have not been able to pull Mystic ISO to save my life. I've been getting really one-sided pulls lately. Like, I have no Cosmic and hundreds of bricks of tech. I have no Mystic and hundreds of bricks of science. The dual class crystals have just not been kind. See you soon, Chuck. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here. It's gonna be another short one. I may be back later today, but just finishing up some stuff from this weekend, and I think my streams will be a little more normal starting tomorrow. I'm also hoping to get that war video out tomorrow, and hopefully this week brings with it a Massacre guide and an Ebony Maw guide. So hope y'all enjoy that. Thanks so much for hanging out as always. Really appreciate y'all, and take care.